Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Sydney here with you today. How you doing? Now, you know what this means. You know this means I got a good video for you. Man, it's a little bit cold here. I'm gonna put my beanie on. This weather's really been drying my shit out. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. Mum who killed kids hours after husband filed for divorce is sentenced to 120 years in prison. Well, that's a good start, but it doesn't solve the problem. And the article reads, a judge has sentenced a central Indiana woman to 120 years in prison for fatally stabbing her young children hours after her husband filed for divorce. 31-year-old Brandy Worley learned her sentence Monday after she pleaded guilty in January to 2 counts of murder for killing her son, 7-year-old Tyler Worley, and her daughter, 3-year-old Charlie Worley, in November 2016. Her husband was asleep downstairs at the time at the family's Darlington home, about 40 miles northwest of Indianapolis. Worley gave no statement at the sentencing, and her attorney said there was no explanation for what she did. Court documents have said Worley told police she killed the children because she didn't want her husband to take them. She was also treated for self-inflicted stab wounds to her neck. Worley called 911 moments after the attack. Quote unquote, I just stabbed myself and I killed my 2 children, Worley says calmly in the 9/11 audio previously obtained by CBS affiliate WTV. When the dispatcher asked Worley what caused her to do that, she replied, quote unquote, my husband wanted a divorce and my husband wanted a divorce and wanted to take my kids, and I don't want him to have my kids. She doesn't want him to have her kids, so she'd rather kill her kids than let the husband have it. So that sounds more vindictive than actually being anything else. Now, I'm actually going to play this quick video for you. It's actually the 911 call, and I know things are a little bit flipped around, so don't worry if you can't read it, but the audio says everything you need to know.
The call came in here to the county's 911 center about 4:30 in the morning. It quickly became clear what was happening on the other end.
You know what's going on there?
I stabbed myself and I killed my 2 children.
You stabbed yourself and killed your 2 children?
Mm-hmm.
We knew this call existed. Now we're hearing it. 29-year-old Brandy Worley calling home in Darlington, saying her kids, 7-year-old Tyler and 3-year-old Charlie, are dead.
And what caused you to do this today?
My husband wanted a divorce and wanted my kid. I won't let him have my kid.
Worley is without emotion as she talks to a dispatcher about 6 minutes. He stays remarkably calm, asking questions, trying to figure out what's going on.
What are you feeling right now? I mean, you're tired? Are you worried?
I took a lot of Benadryl.
Worley's mom arrives at one point and she hands her the phone. The dispatcher asks her to check on the kids and she becomes distraught. We've decided not to play that very difficult portion of the call. For 15 minutes, the Montgomery County dispatcher is asking questions, trying to help. It's hard to imagine being in that position.
Telecommunicators are often the overlooked part of public safety. We like to say they are the first of first responders.
Bill Ritter, head of Indiana's 911 board, says dispatchers are not only the first to deal with trauma, they're then disconnected from it quickly. It's why this year the state started offering stress resilience training, and many counties are beefing up mental health services for their dispatchers. In this case, the dispatcher managed to get so much information from Worley, despite all that he was hearing. Ritter says that's what dispatchers are trained to do, no matter what's happening on the other end of the phone.
They do a phenomenal job in the area of public safety, and they're that unseen hero in first responders.
Worley is being held in jail without bail. I'll have more of that call and what she told the dispatcher coming up tonight at 11 News Point. In Crawfordsville, Joe Glavin, Fox 59 News.
And yet all of the focus on...
My biggest fear is
what the hell?
it takes over the...
And yet our biggest focus on domestic violence is domestic violence against women and children. But yet the male is always perceived as the perpetrator under the feminist Duluth model. If you haven't yet checked out the Duluth model, I suggest you do so. D-U-L-U-T-H. It explains a lot of what's going on with the domestic violence system, blaming men and favoring women always. All right, so, I mean, for those of you who have just tuned in, we've basically got a situation where there was a couple that had 2 kids together. The husband wanted a divorce. Literally, same day, husband wanted a divorce. So, and he wanted to take the kids. So she went and killed the kids so that he couldn't have them. Obviously, she knew she was a terrible parent if she's going to go killing her kids because she thought she was that at risk of losing them. Right? And you don't need a gun to be a horrible human being. You know, you don't need to be male to be a horrible human being. You just need to be a horrible human being, and there are plenty of them, both male and female. Right? And she said, my kids, as 6,000 Chicken Fajitas correctly pointed out. That's the female entitlement mentality for you. Right? And if you haven't yet seen my video on female entitlement mentality, go check it out. Search Sydney MGTOW female entitlement mentality. You will find the video. Very, very good video. Very enlightening, very revealing. It's a very, very sad state of affairs. And what's going on? Papa MGTOW in the house. How you doing, buddy? Good to see everyone. By the way, Nadia, got Chicken Fajitas, Evanaldo, Daniel, William, Kate of the Swiss. Good to see you all. So yeah, this is what's happening all over the world. Children are getting murdered and killed constantly all over the world in unbelievable numbers by their mothers, because the mothers don't want the dad to have them, or because the mothers want to get back at the dad, right? And yet the one instance where a dad went and killed his kids, right, because he'd been involved in a long and drawn out, and I can only imagine harrowing legal battle for the last couple of years, and she was in her very early 20s, if not younger than that, when she had the kids. And you know, she obviously went for an older, richer dude. He's now in his 50s, 60s, got the yellow teeth. You know, he's a little bit older. I know my teeth aren't perfectly white either. That's fine. And you know, he was quite a bit older. She's obviously done with him. She's kicking him to the curb. Doesn't want him around, but she wants the money. He was a financial planner, doing very well for himself. At least that's what I recall his profession being. And yeah, this just happens over and over again with, you know, is it any wonder? I mean, look, I can understand, right? I'm not going to say I'm justifying it, because I'm certainly not, but I can understand if this guy had taken the kids off the mother and was preventing her from seeing her kids and dragging her through the family courts for a couple of years. I can understand why she may be driven to kill her kids as an act of just absolute desperation and insanity and frustration and hurt, right? I'm not saying it's okay, but I can understand why that might happen in some circumstances. And I believe that's what happened in the circumstances with the man who shot both his kids in Australia and then shot himself. Okay? But to speak to your husband and he goes, I want a divorce and I want to take the kids, and then go, no, fuck you, kill kids, and then call up and be like, oh, I just killed my kids and I stabbed myself. No crying, no hysteria, just nothing, no emotion, right? Right, well, he can't have the kids now, so good. That's the attitude that I'm feeling coming from this, right? And every day we're seeing story after story of mums neglecting their kids, mums. I saw another one this morning. I should do a video on it. Saw another one this morning of a mother that used her influence to kill her two kids. Sorry, to kill her 4-year-old daughter, so that the ex-partner couldn't see her anymore. Right? Just absolutely unbelievable, heartbreaking stuff for the people involved. And we see it again and again and again. And yet we've got the people in Parliament, right? We've got these ministers for women. We've got these feminists in the government controlling everything, right? Turning around and saying, oh, you know, we need to decriminalize when women hurt their children because, you know, they're really mentally struggling. It's like, well, men struggle as well, but yet when we do something, right, out of desperation, out of a place of frustration, out of a place of hurt or mental illness, right, straight in the slammer. See you later, guys. There's the key. Go catch. Oh, it's in a flowing river. Oh, don't worry about it. Just stay locked up. Cool, no worries. Right? But the women are like, oh, here, quick, jump on this inflatable raft. Here's a floaty. Here's some oars. Here's an outboard motor. Say, you know, I just want to save you. Please. Right? We're pushed. We're thrown into the water with concrete anchors attached to our ankles, right? They're put in a boat with an outboard motor and a year's supply of food and a GPS and solar panels and a phone charger and a SIM card with a mobile phone plan loaded up with the favorite social media apps and sent on a nice leisurely cruise down the river in the exact same circumstances, right? And if they get lost down the river, they can just call and say, oh, I'm lost, can you come and get me? And you get a search party, government funded, going out to rescue them. Helicopters, spotlights, people working around the clock to find them. Right? And then they're sitting on a beach, fucking eating Doritos from the care package that we gave to them. Right? And then when they get fat from eating Doritos, then they get upset that men don't want to date them. It's like there's zero accountability imposed on the current women in Western society. Now, for those of you who are my original followers, you'll notice this was the first clothes that I wore in my first video. So, I'm almost at 4,000 subscribers, so it's a little bit nostalgic for me. I'm very humbled as well, guys. Remember a story where a child was crying that she didn't want to go to her mother and rather be with her father instead. Yeah, it happens all the time. Kids want to be with their fathers, but yet the mother still gets them to maintain the status quo. It's like, what status quo? You know, the status quo of vagina? Right? It's not like the kid didn't spend the last 8 years with their father as well as their mother. Which one's really the status quo? They're both the status quo. But oh no, you know, need to be with the mother. Fuck out of here. Things have changed. Right? If the first thing a woman does when her husband asks for a divorce is kill her kids, it must have been delightful being her husband. Can you just imagine? Thank you for that as well, Live Free. Can you just imagine what how much of a torment it must have been for him to be the husband? Of course, he would have never gone and said, oh, well, you know, she's emotionally abusing me, she's financially abusing me, she's doing this abuse, that's abuse. But yet, flip the coin, and the women will be running straight to the police to do the same thing. A lot of the time. I don't know, guys, I don't know. Things have just gone completely messed up. And thank you so much for all smashing that thumbs up button. If you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, hit the sub button below and the bell next to it so you get the daily notifications of videos like this, videos of self-improvement, videos showing men how to take back themselves and own their shit, right? How to build your life and lift yourself up to the next level, right? How to take it to the next plane. right? Because going your own way is not just about being aware of female nature. It is about being aware of what you're capable of. It is about being aware of your inner strength. It is about being aware of what you can do and you should do if it makes you happy in your heart. Right? This is not about hating women. It's about knowing women. Right? This is not about punishing women. It is about looking after yourselves. Right? And men going your own way. Being MGTOW is essentially just that. Being about yourself. Looking after yourself. Being true to yourself. Because if you can't be true to yourself, then how are you going to be true to others? Others that treat you right, and treat you well, and respect you as a man, as the man that you are. Alright. And the Rapper 1000 says men are builders, whereas feminists are not. Well, we've had that proven by the bridge at Florida University. And go and watch my video I did the other week. It's never too late for a man to create. And it talks about building and creating. Even if you've been reduced to rubble, even if you've been reduced to homelessness, you have the power and the capacity and the strength within you. I'm telling you now, even if you don't think you do, I know you do. Right? You wouldn't be here listening to me right now otherwise. Right? You would have switched to another video, you would have flicked on. But the fact you're still here listening right now tells me one thing. It tells me safe out there. Peace.